Africa's nuclear future, rising powerhouse or global game changer? Hello everyone, welcome back to Global Pulse Daily. In a world gripped by climate crisis, energy shortages, and technological revolution, a silent transformation is unfolding across the African continent. Africa, often underestimated, often overlooked, is now positioning itself as the next global frontier for energy, for science, for hospital, and for sovereignty. This is no fiction. This is Africa's nuclear reality. And this is a story of how the continent, once written off as powerless, could become the next nuclear powerhouse of the 21st century. Across Africa, over 600 million people still lack access to reliable electricity. Drought threatens hydroelectric dams. Gas is expensive. Oil is unreliable. But nuclear power, it offers a stable, zero carbon and massive energy output. Perfect for powering growing cities, data centers, electric railways, desalination plants, and medical isotopes. More than just electricity, nuclear means sovereignty over energy, reduced dependency on the West, new industries, jobs, exports, control over Africa's uranium and thorium wealth. And now, with Russia, China, France, Korea competing for influence, Africa has become the new battlefield. Here are all the African countries that have signed nuclear deals, built research centers, or launched roadmaps as of 2025. Complete with budgets and partners, and also some sites where these can be found. Egypt's nuclear power plants. Egypt has one of the continent's major nuclear power plants, and this deal was signed with the Russian company back in 2017. It is supposed to be completed by 2030. The budget is $28.7 billion. But recently, Russia and Egypt decided to trade in their own currency, and this will reduce that budget significantly. South Africa. South Africa holds the only operational nuclear power plant in Africa. Back in 1984. Presently, it is undergoing expansion with China and France. This will provide electricity for the region. Uganda. A nuclear ambition foiled by its own uranium. Signed a deal with Rosatom in 2023 and also with Korea in 2025. Uganda recently discovered uranium at Lake Albert region. Ghana, quietly becoming a nuclear leader in West Africa. It initiated an agreement with Rosatom in 2015. It is still in advanced selection for the phase of the plant. Also, they signed a deal with France and Korea, and they're also looking for another site for this plant. Kenya, the first in East Africa to pursue full nuclear power. They signed a deal with Rosatom and South Korea from 2015 to 2004. The site is going to be in the Kilifi region, providing energy for the whole of the area. They have no active uranium reserves, so they're going to import their raw material. Nigeria, one of Africa's most populated countries, is seeking energy independence. They signed a deal with Russia, and also they're looking at other partners such as China and Korea. They also have uranium deposits in the region. This can be found in Rivers State and in Bochi area. The budget is about $10 billion. This is going to provide electricity for the whole of the country. We all know about NEPA in Nigeria. Mali. Mali recently signed a deal with Rosatom of Russia in 2023. They are more focused on nuclear research for medicine and for energy. They have launched an energy roadmap, which is at its early stage of visibility study. Mali also has uranium deposits or uranium reserves in their area. So they don't need to actually buy this raw material. This is found in the Falais region. Burkina Faso. The sovereignty recently signed a deal with Russia in 2023. They are also seeking nuclear research and nuclear energy roadmap, mainly for medicine and for energy. This is one of the latest countries in Africa that is blowing each and everybody's mind. It will be a great deal if they actually do have this plan, because we know they are going to evolve that region. Algeria. Algeria today is researching about nuclear energy. They are looking at facilities. They're looking at 2 facilities to build, and this has been going on since 1990. There's a new deal in place in 2024 where there are talks between Russia and China for future energy uses. The raw material they hold about 25,000 tons of uranium. So they actually have the uranium to be able to go on with the project. They don't need to buy any raw material. The future plan is going to take place in 2040. To me, that's a very long time. I wish they can change that. Morocco. They are looking at nuclear energy for nuclear medicine and for power ambitions. They have signed deals in 2024 with France, and they are looking at the IAEA. They can use this for cancer treatment, agriculture, feasibility, for grid power. Uranium. They have no uranium reserve in their region, so they're actually going to buy uranium. Sudan. Despite the instability in Sudan, Sudan is not giving up. They also are looking for energy independence. They signed a deal in 2016 with Rosatom. It's around the Red Sea coast and is going to provide electricity for the region, and it's also going to provide electricity for their power, for their industries. It is frozen at the moment due to the instability in the region, but they have not given up. They have done the first step. Zambia. They are looking at research first and then reactors next. They signed a deal with Rosatom in 2018 for about $50 million. They are looking at nuclear science and technology, used for agriculture, medicine, radiotherapy. They have significant uranium reserves in their region, in the Lumwana and Mutanga region. This is going to provide electricity for their royal area and the whole country. The mineral world for energy ambitions. Nuclear plants of about 3 gigawatts of nuclear power by 2030. They are doing the pre-feasibility phase right now, and yes, they do have uranium deposit in the Dande region and the Zambezi Valley. This is going to be used for mining and power grid. Senegal, Rwanda, Ethiopia, Libya are also emerging and looking on how they can explore nuclear energy, on how they can have a nuclear power plant in their country. Rwanda signed a deal in 2019 with Rosatom, and they are on the way doing research. Ethiopia is in talks with Rosatom in 2023. They are also looking at how they can go about it. And poor Libya, post-Gaddafi, they were in talks to get a nuclear facility, but right now they are in talks with Rosatom to build a framework in 2023. That was when the talks went on. Africa is not just seeking nuclear energy because it wants to. It is its given right because it has all the raw materials needed for nuclear power or nuclear energy. Africa has the highest deposits of uranium and all raw materials needed for nuclear power plants. You can see the reserves there. And one thing to note is this data was given by the West. So as of lately, many independent researchers have discovered that the deposits of all the minerals they say are in Africa are way more than what has been given by the West. So most of these figures are even way more than that. Russia is coming into Africa through Rosatom, providing long-term solutions, cheap energy. That is why most of them are partnering with Russia. China is also coming in with uranium trade deals and also providing small molecules radiators. France, as usual, is coming to dominate. You can see how they are dominating the mineral resources of Niger. America is late to the game, but at this point, many people really don't want to partner with the US. Can you imagine an Africa where lights, electricity never goes off, where medical research, medical facilities are everywhere, where people don't need to travel out of the country for medical treatment, where people need to come into Africa for medical treatment, where food is stored, where research is stored, where people can easily do business without worrying about energy. That is the future of Africa. That is where we're going to. But now we have some limitations. The technological know-how. It is time for us to position ourselves by studying those fields that would help us not totally rely on the West or any other country for the development of these nuclear power plants. The future is in our kids. The future is in the youth. Make sure you're in line, you're studying something that might give you a future in this field, rather than have the West come again and dominate us in this field. The future is Africa. The future is nuclear energy, and it belongs to Africa. Thank you for listening to Global Pulse. Have a great day.